afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023, and we have some breaking news. I'm not going to hold out too much longer here. I literally just checked before I came on air, and I'm not going to hold this news back. Fox News has reported that Bryan Kohberger has been indicted in the Idaho student murders. So we're going to get through this article, and I have a lot of information that led us up to where we stand. Literally, the last 14 hours have been berserk on Twitter, in the news media, in a lot of my backroom chats and channels. And we have it. We have an indictment in the Idaho student murders. And like I said, Fox News is now confirming and reporting. So the headline reads, Idaho grand jury hands down superseded indictment in university stabbings. Bryan Kohberger, the criminology PhD student accused of the home invasion murders of the 4 University Idaho undergrads, has been indicted by a grand jury, and the Latah County authorities have confirmed. The superseded indictment means the accused quadruple murderer will not have a chance to attack the evidence used to arrest him at a preliminary hearing that has been scheduled for week of June 26th. A new arraignment has been scheduled for Monday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. It also spares the 2 surviving housemates and other potential witnesses from having to testify under cross-examination prior to the trial. The move was not unexpected. Prominent Boise defense attorney Inwina Ecox said in January that it could be announced at any moment once the grand jury has been empaneled behind closed doors and convinced that the charges should stand. And I have to say that I and my trusty sidekick Laura on the Opinionated YouTube channel, we talked about this, and we said this was a possibility, that this preliminary hearing would be skipped and they would move right to a grand jury. We knew this was coming. We felt this was coming. My chat felt this was coming. The fans of this channel, excuse me, thought this was coming. I ate really quick before I came live. My heart is racing. I was just like, it's just crazy, to come live and be able to kind of talk a little bit about this. And maybe I'm breaking this right now, but I'm a little worked up. I'm a little overamped, a little emotional, because, we've done a lot of hard work here. I'm not, I'm a little perplexed right now. I'm just sorting through some emotions. Um, really stuck with this for the last 3 months. And this is going to get to trial now. And we're going to find out, what really happened. And if Bryan Kohberger is responsible, or there's others involved that are responsible, then we'll have some answers. And if Bryan Kohberger is not guilty of this crime, then he needs to be free, and we need to keep investigating this and find out what happened. Um, like I said, I'm overwhelmed with some emotions right now. Everything's kind of cloudy and foggy. It seems like it's moving quick, but we're going to continue to read the article here. So just bear with me for a second. I was about confident as I could be that there would be an indictment in this case, she told Fox News Digital Wednesday. Kohberger was accused of sneaking into a college town rental home at 4 a.m. on Saturday, November 13th, and butchering 4 students inside. And at least some of them were sleeping at the start of the ambush, according to Latah County Coroner Kathy Mambut. Mambut. Kayla Gonzalez, Maddie Mogan, Xana Knodel, and Ethan Chapin all received postmortem honors at the university commencement ceremony over this weekend. Gonzalez and Mogan were 21. They shared a 6-bedroom home with Knodel, 20, and 2 younger women who were not attacked. Chapin, 20, was dating Knodel and spent the night. 2 of the 1 surviving roommates told police she heard crying from Knodel's room, and a man saying, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." Then she saw a masked man with bushy eyebrows walk to the back door. Police found DNA evidence on a K-bar knife sheath left in Mogan's body, near Mogan's body, and she said they pieced together the movements of Kohberger's cell phone and white Hyundai Elantra, according to a probable cause affidavit unsealed in January after the arrest of 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary. He allegedly visited the victim's house at least a dozen times before the murders and returned one last time hours after the slaying, but before 9/11 had been called. And you know what? There's been a lot of new implications that have happened uh, over these last couple of days or weeks, and I've done some more sleuthing around, and some things are becoming a little bit clearer. Now, I'm not sure if they would be any connection to this case, but as I'm learning more about it and learning more about what went on in that area and around that house, I have some other possible theories of what could have happened that led Kohberger in and around this house multiple times before these murders happened. That's something that we're going to get into possibly on Saturday. I know that we're going to read through more of the legal documents. I'm going to have Laura over on the channel. We're going to read through more of the legal documents. We have a presentation for you guys ready on Saturday. But I really just wanted to get in and kind of talk about what's happened in the last 24 hours here. So it says he could face the death penalty, and Idaho has no insanity defense. The murders shocked the country and attracted national media coverage, prompting a gag order in this case that faces appeals from the attorney of Gonzalez family and the coalition of media outlets. Kohberger is due in Latah County Courthouse on Monday, May 22nd. He is currently being held without bail at the county jail next door. According to past acquisitions, Kohberger became addicted to opioids in the late teens, but sobered up to pursue a career in criminal justice. He earned a master's degree from DeSales University in Pennsylvania and then entered a PhD program at Washington State University, less than 10 miles from the Idaho crime scene. While at DeSales, Kohberger studied under expert on serial killers, Dr. Catherine Ramsland, who co-wrote a book about the BTK killer, Dennis Rader. Rader killed 10 people between 1974 and 1991. Although some of Ramsland's students have reached out to Rader over the years, the killer told Fox News Digital earlier this year that he had never spoken with Kohberger. However, he said he could relate to him in terms of pretrial detention. Excuse me. Since I spent from February 2005 to April 2005 in a cell by myself, I know how he feels, he told Fox News, very lonely. He is in a lone semester at WSU. Kohberger studied under the department head, who in her CV described herself as specializing in homicide, violent deaths, and violence as public health concerns. So that is the article. Again, breaking news here in the Bryan Kohberger case. Bryan Kohberger has been indicted in the Idaho student murders. The grand jury hands down superseding indictment in the university stabbings. Okay, so let's get back to this last 24 hours. I'm going to look at the chat here for a second. I want to welcome everybody coming in on this this afternoon. I know this is kind of a promptu stream. My streaming lives times are going to be a little weird for a while till I get through some challenging times at work. I want to appreciate everybody that's come to this channel over the last couple of weeks. The channel is growing. We're so close to getting to 5,000. If you have this is your first time over here on this channel, please make sure to subscribe and smash that like button. If you want to become a monthly member, you can by clicking the join button down below. My monthly memberships start at $1.99. I wanted to read this as well too. I have some I get periodical emails throughout the day. And I have a law student that kind of reaches out to me every now and then. He wrote me just before I came on air. I'm not going to release his name, but figuratively speaking here, he was just saying, Hey, bud, I've been swamped in between intern at the law office, school, and work, and at his job. I don't know if you heard, but I was going around the law office last night, and the grand jury, and they talked about the grand jury in the BK case. It was mentioned to us that the defense was asking for so much BS from the state. It was un pre I can't get this word. My one, my eyes are terrible, and two, I have a stutter, and I have minor dyslexia. Uh Unprecedented. Thank you. The state was like, okay, if you want to meet with Bethany and put her on the ringer, if you want to ask backgrounds on everyone, and if you want to draw this out, then give more time for conspiracy theories to run rampant. Okay, the state was sick of the back and forth and asked for a grand jury. I also heard that the evidence is so strong that you could throw the sheath out of the equation and still get life in prison. So that's just one person's opinion on this that communicates with me, and I wanted to share that with you all here. We got some new members here. I just want to check on the memberships. Mama Style has become a YouTube member. I appreciate that so much for contributing and helping the channel out in every way that you can. And I also have a new member as well. D. Dobson has become a new supporter of the channel as well. And I'm like, thank you so much. I will update the Discord link for channel members after the stream post. It will be on my community page. You can go into that link and click into the Discord if you want to come in and hang out with us. It is for paid members only. So that is a benefit of what we do here on the Opinionated Idiot YouTube channel. So let's rewind a little bit. I know we're all amped. I know that some of us here may be a little bit excited. Some of us may be a little disappointed. I understand that. This case has uh, uh, brought a lot of emotion inside of a lot of people. I've seen virtually chat fights about it. I've seen people scream at each other about it. I hear that there's so much evidence, and then I hear there's not enough evidence. We've heard many conspiracy theories. We have heard people come forward that say they're very close to this case. We've had interviews. We've had phone calls. It is one of the craziest fucking cases that I've come across in a long time. Pre-trial. This is all pre-trial from the public. And it's nuts. It's going to get really crazy. I'm sure you're going to get tons of content from true crime channels, probably starting today. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of the first people on YouTube to kind of break this. But yeah, I had to get live and let everybody know. So let's go back 24 hours and kind of take you back to where we were initially before this indictment broke today. Let me just pull up my screen here and just get that for you guys. And then I have like a small presentation that I actually was putting together before we came on air. Let me share that with you all. Okay. Let me see if I can get my screen to present. Okay, so let's take a look here. I hope you all can see this presentation. So let's go back the last 20. I mean, this is what I was prepared to go on with air today, and now the indictment broke. So, but anyway, I still want to kind of take us back the last 24 hours. So we have an update in the Idaho for murders 5/17/23 here today. So we look back at the last 24 hours. There's an article that came out on May 16th, and it said prosecutors have more than 20,000 pieces of evidence given to Kohberger's attorneys. Now we know that there were a new bunch of documents dumped. My sleuthing, talking with my sleuthers, we kind of had a feeling that this was going to get close to getting to a grand jury. I believe that's why they're releasing all these documents now and just dumping things at this point. That last week we got more body cam footage. We got more footage inside Kohberger's apartment of the search. I just want to pull this up. This was saying, I love your reporting, factual, to the point, and with integrity. Thank you so much. I mean, that's what we do here on this channel. We stick to the case evidence. We use news articles to source our evidence. We do smart, thorough sleuthing We use that angle as well, but we like to take what's in the case file and base things off evidence and give truth and honesty to what's going on. I'm going to be, you know, I think, like I said, there's a lot of sensationalism going on around this case. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of BK fanboys. That's fine. If those channels want to put out that type of content, it's fine. I mean, that's up to them. It's their platform. There's a lot of fringe channels popping up now with some just really odd and weird material that I just have no interest in watching. Um, but there are some really respectable channels that I can identify with. They may have a different take on what I believe, but I respect their angle and they treat it with respect and dignity. One, as you guys know, I have a relationship with the Drunk Turkey Show. So I would say if you're new here or you're here and you don't know of that channel, I would go check them out. Another great platform too that's kind of climbing the ranks with me right now is a smaller growing channel is Publicly Buzzed. I would go check them out as well too. Those are two channels that I can identify with. I've done some panels with them. And we may not completely agree at all times, but when we all talk and we're collectively on a panel, we all respect each other and we like to hear the other angles, or the other theories, and we do it with respect. So I appreciate that. So Planning with Tracy has become a new member as well. Thank you so much for becoming a new member here in the channel. We now go back 24 hours. So we had this article that came out. I think this was off of Fox News. Oh, I'm sorry. This was off the Independent. So I grabbed this headline. Said prosecutors more than 20,000 pieces of evidence giving to Kohberger's attorneys. If you haven't already, please go down and smash that like button. It is free to do that. And it will help get this stream out into the algorithm. We like to get at least 100 likes by the end of the stream. We need to push this out and get this news out today. Because it's very important. This is very, very important. So thank you so much for that membership. So we've now go out, and last night I went to bed. I woke up this morning. I checked my Discord chat, and my sleuthers in there were having conversation, and I saw this. Ashley Banfield broke breaking news on Bryan Kohberger. Sources tell me that Idaho murder suspect has been indicted by a secret grand jury in the Moscow, Idaho. He has been arraigned on Monday night in district court. They will no longer be a preliminary hearing on June 26th. Now, at that point, there was no confirmed reports that he had been indicted. And then I went into another chat this morning, early this morning, and I saw this posted. This is from the court document events. So the preliminary hearing was canceled, but still at this point, there was no reporting that Kohberger had been indicted by the grand jury. So I waited, and in about 4 hours before I went on air, Jennifer Coffindaffer was reporting, yes, indicted by secret grand jury, Bryan Kohberger. What we've been talking about for months happened. No preliminary hearing. We will be breaking it down on Morning in America. Still, at this point, there was no confirmed news article yet. And I was like, well, I can't go on air and say that he's been indicted because I don't see anything in print yet. And listen, Coffindaffer, Banfield, they're members of the media, but I wanted something in print so I could come on and say it is in print now. It is out there. Local and national news is picking this up. World news is picking this up. And literally 5 minutes before I went live, we had the article from Fox News reporting that Bryan Kohberger now has been indicted in these murders. So Planning with Tracy is saying, I think the DNA came back from the car. It's quite possible. Let's see. I have someone else. Sergeant Friday says, if I was BK, I would request my right to a speedy trial. I love all the chat-ins here and everybody kind of breaking in here. Let's see. Sergeant Fry says 20,000 pieces of discovery is not all evidence. It all will be processed. Who handled evidence, who will be questioned, and who, etc. All right, so here we are here. Um, so what I want to do here is go back and look at this article here first. So from the Sun, this was a couple of days ago, and it reads, "I'm gonna bring it." And this is back from May 14th. So if you ever kind of watch my streams, or you're new here, what I like to do is, if I have breaking news, I'll break it, and then I like to go back and say, how did we get here? So this was an article that was posted on May 14th, and Steve Gonzalez says, quote, "I'm going to bring it." University of Idaho victim Kaylee Gonzalez's dad gives Bryan Kohberger urgent warning ahead of murder trial. A father of one of the murdered university students has warned Bryan Kohberger that he's going to bring it as he prepares to face him in court. Excuse me 1 second here. Kohberger has been charged with the murder in connection with the November 26th killing and is awaiting trial. Kayla Gonzalez, 21, was one of the victims killed in the off-campus Moscow, Idaho home. Her dad, Steve, told ABC News that he is ready to face Kohberger in court. He said, "I can't wait to see the evidence, and I'm going to bring it." He also realized that this is the family is going to make sure he doesn't get away with it. Kaylee's mom, Christy, told the network that she's thought long and hard if her daughter and Kohberger had crossed paths. It's a very interesting quote. She said, "We've talked as a family, and we've done a lot of research on what's out there, and none of this makes sense." Christie told ABC News that she will try to avoid the courtroom during any of the graphic testimony. She said, "I'm not going to scar myself. I have visions of my own that I've had to deal with." Kaylee was due to graduate from the university just weeks before she was killed. Her siblings accepted the postmetheus degree from her college this week. Days before her ceremony, a post on the family's Facebook said, "I would have never imagined Kaylee not being able to accept her own degree that she worked so hard for." Madison, Xana, Ethan were also killed in the horrible stabbings, also receiving degrees. Kaylee was awarded a Bachelor of General Studies degree from the university. PhD student Kohberger is being held in Idaho jail and will appear in court in June. Let's see. But Ethan's parents, Jim and Stacy Chapin, told Fox News in April they had not been attending the court hearings. Kohberger's arrest at his family home in Pennsylvania in late December, following a manhunt that lasted weeks. Cops discovered medical-style gloves, a sweatshirt, a buckle swab, Nike sneakers. That's the first that I heard they were Nikes, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is written on the search warrant, but I haven't heard Nike sneakers. And a flashlight when he was arrested. Investigators were able to track down Kohberger from a K-bar knife sheath that was left at the murder scene near Madison and Kaylee's bodies. Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra was searched by cops as part of the probe. The vehicle was taken apart, and investigators took a door panel, seat cushions, headrest, seat belt, a visor, and brake and gas pedals. Other items such as a shovel, hiking boots, goggles, and gloves were also seized from the car by police. Kind of sounds like a kill kit to me. Kohberger has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and convicted to face the death penalty. Kohberger has pled not guilty to the charges. Last week, he added the top attorney, Elisa Massoff, to his defense team. University students have said the killings left the college community shaken. A sorority sister of Kaylee told Idaho Press there was a lot of girls that didn't come back after Thanksgiving. And that's the end of the article there. So now we fast forward to yesterday, and this was an article dropped from Court TV, and actually Court TV and not the Independent. I'm sorry, I have an independent article queued up, but this was from Court TV, and this article here says This was yesterday, just before the indictment was announced today. Prosecutors more than 20,000 pieces of evidence given to Kohberger's attorneys. Moscow, Idaho Court TV reports prosecutors in the Idaho are firing back at attorney representing Bryan Kohberger, saying they have handed over tens of thousands of reports, photographs, and other evidence before the June preliminary hearing. Kohberger was a criminology student at at WSU when investigators said he broke into a home near the University of Idaho campus and stabbed 4 students to death. In the filing on May 4th, attorney representing Kohberger filed a motion to compile discovery, saying the evidence they had requested from the state has not been delivered. Prosecutors filed a response to motion ahead of the scheduled May 22nd hearing on stating that on as of May 4th, the Latah County Prosecutor's Office had provided approximately 10,000 pages of reports and other written materials, over 10,000 photographs, close to 10,000 tips, and 51 terabytes of audio, visual media, and digital materials. I want to tell you and show you how much can be held in a terabyte. Just give me a second here and let me just pull this screen up. So in a terabyte, so 51 terabytes equals 51,000 gigabytes. What can 1 terabyte of storage hold? 1 terabyte gives you the option of storing roughly 250,000 photos taken with a 12 megapixel camera, or 250 movies, or 500 hours of HD video, or 6.5 million document pages, commonly stored as office files, PFDs, and presentations. That is nuts. That is a lot of information that is in this case. And how ironic, below it says Dropbox, and we know that one of the search warrants was on Dropbox. But I just kind of wanted to share that to give you the totality of evidence that's going to be presented in this case. I think that's why you're seeing additional lawyers being added on. We know that the DA brought in 2 additional lawyers. We now have a 3rd lawyer that has joined the defense team. And I want to preference this. You all have to understand, in this particular case, there is going to be a lot of back and forth with the prosecution and the defense. It's chess. And everybody gets me, shut up about it. This is chess, not checkers. It's going to be chess, not checkers. You have an extremely smart and intelligent defense attorney, and you have extremely intelligent prosecution. It's gonna butt for a long time. You're gonna see a lot of back and forth with documents and motions and sticking to the law, and we're not getting enough evidence, and we're giving enough evidence, and we're not getting what we need from the defense, and we're not getting what we need from the prosecution. It's gonna be a long trial. This is not gonna happen overnight. We're not gonna have resolution in this overnight. So be prepared. This is going to be a while, and it's going to take a while to go through this trial. It's going to be a long trial, I believe. I believe it's going to be a long trial. So I wanted to give just some totality of what that evidence is. That's a lot of evidence, and we're going to get more into deep diving that. I'm going to have Laura on the panel on Saturday. We're going to go through a lot of the legal documents that just dropped, give you guys a little bit more context as to what's going on in those legal documents. I know Thursday I'm going to do a reaction video on Peter Tragos's video that just dropped a couple of days ago, but he was a little bit behind on all of this new the indictment charge. But I'm going to do a kind of a reaction to that as well. So I want to go back to that article. So it says, in the motion Attorneys representing Kohberger specifically pointed out to body cam and dash cam footage from officers involved in the arrest in Pennsylvania, reporting details, forensic evidence collected from his car and parents' home, and police reports related to his arrest and incarceration in Pennsylvania. So I do know this. A little birdie told me, chirped in my ear, and told me that out in Pennsylvania, I believe, and I don't know if my little birdie can message me, but I believe that they don't have body cams, but they're working on getting body cams in Pennsylvania. So I'm not sure of what was body cam. I'm not sure if it's fully body cammed out there yet. I'm not sure what that is. And believe me, I may be messing up that statement, but my little birdie will tell me if she chirps at me. Um, in response, the prosecution said all new known items have been disclosed and that the state is unaware of any footage beyond what has already been disclosed. And on information and belief understands that there's no body cam footage. And I believe that's what I just went back to. I believe in Pennsylvania, they don't use body cams as of yet. They're in the works of getting that into their law. Prosecutors said that the forensic reports on evidence collected at Kohberger's family home and from his car, including reports from the FBI. Sorry for that. I don't know if you all can hear that. There's a car beeping in the background. Sorry. Including reports from the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, were giving to the defense as well as the opportunity to directly review and inspect items seized as part of the investigation. The only record prosecutors said they had not disclosed to the defense was requests were training records of the officers involved in the investigation, which the state argued in its response to the defense motion falls out of the scope of discovery. And again, see what's happening here. This is chess. This is back and forth chess. It's going to be, getting that king in position to checkmate. So it's going to be a lot of this back and forth. Kohberger's case is being safeguarded by a gag order, but prohibits any attorney's law enforcement agencies and other involvement with case from talking to the media unless they are quoting from a publicly available court document. Court TV's parent company has joined the coalition of other media filings and appealed to the order. Okay. In objection to the motion, Kohberger's attorney argued that the gag order is necessary to protect the client's 6th and 14th Amendment rights to a fair trial. In filing, his attorney said that planning to present expert testimony on the damaging effects of the media coverage. Separate from the media, the family of Kaylee Gonzalez filed a motion seeking to release the gag order, citing their own First Amendment rights. A hearing for that motion is scheduled in just about a week on May 22nd. Let me just go up here. I just saw this super sticker come through. Simba 64 has sent over a 1999 super sticker. I do appreciate that. Guys, if I can just have you guys go down there. I got 274 people watching right now. We're only at 103 likes. Let's get that up to 200. It would be awesome if we can get to 200 likes by the end of the stream. My channel mods, thank you so much for pumping the chat room. I appreciate it. It's only free. It's free to hit that upvote button. It really is. But thank you so much for the super Great chat. Cash, homie. And we'll go back to reading this article here. Actually, I think that's the end of the article. I'm sorry. So that there was on Court TV. And that's kind of what got us to this point. Now, the Independent reports, and I do have some video coverage for you guys as well, and I'm going to get to that here, kind of encompassing all these articles together and telling us all the latest. So Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger sent trove of prison love letters from fans. Latah County jailer told The Messenger that more than 24 letters have arrived for the suspect. This was posted 14 hours ago. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger has received a disturbing amount of mail from fans as he awaits trial behind bars, according to the report. An unnamed employee at Latah County Jail, where Mr. Kohberger remains in custody following December 30th arrest. The messenger that more than 24 letters have been sent to the quadruple murder suspect. Mr. Kohberger, a former PhD criminology student in the Washington State University, is charged on November fatal stabbings of University Idaho students. He gets these letters a couple of times a week. The insider told the outlet, nodding that other staffers and faculty have found the letters extremely odd. They're usually handwritten with hearts and stars in colored envelopes. And again, a lot of these cases, and we've seen this in the past, will bring out, these extreme fans of, criminals or potential criminals. I'm sorry, alleged criminals. We've seen this, or of convicted criminals. We've seen this. There's a lot of sensationalism. We had that report of the girl that had a Facebook page that was completely devoted to Bryan Kohberger, and she was talking about how much she loved him and how they were going to get married when he walked free. So a lot of this stuff comes out, and this brings out a lot of some strange individuals. But it's their thing, I guess. So we'll keep reading in this. In the aftermath of the murders, and Mr. Kohberger was arrested 6 weeks later, the true crime fans have flocked to online forums to fill information gaps left by authorities, who first cited the integrity of the investigation as a reason they did not share details about the probe, and now they are being banned from speaking about the case due to a gag order. If you can go down there and smash that like button, I really would appreciate it. We're going to try to get to 200 likes before we leave the stream. I have almost 300 people watching today. Earlier this year, a disturbing Reddit grew more than 500 members before it could be banned from the platform of violating Reddit's moderator code of conduct. In addition to spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories, some of those online communities featured overly sexual comments, as well as colleagues of Mr. Kohberger's photos. Last week, a prosecution handed over 10,000 photos, 9,000 tips, and several hours of video and audio to the defense. Mr. Kohberger's public defense attorney, Ann Taylor, stated that previously filed documents requested that some of the evidence may contain expulsionatory. I can never get this freaking word. I'm not going to try. Mr. Kohberger has not entered a plea, but said earlier this year via a public defender that he is eager to be exonerated. Not saying that he's not guilty, just saying eager to be exonerated. Gonzalez's father, Steve Gonzalez, told ABC News last week that he's looking forward to Mr. Kohberger's next hearing on June 26th. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. It's been canceled because today, Bryan Kohberger, if you are just joining the stream, has been indicted for the 4 murders in Idaho. I can't wait to see the evidence, and I'm going to bring it. Mr. Gonzalez said he's going to realize that this is the family that's going to make sure he doesn't get away with it. Mr. Kohberger has been linked to crimes by DNA evidence, cell phone data, and surveillance video of what prosecutors believe is the white Hyundai Elantra leaving the scene, according to the arrest affidavit. Another roommate who survived the attack has also able to partially describe the killer to the investigators after she came face to face with him. The murder weapon, a fixed blade knife, was not recovered during the searches and remains missing. Interesting. 2 warrants obtained by the Independent show investigators collected a Glock 40 caliber gun, empty gun magazines, a knife, a pocket knife, black face mask, You know what? I was just wondering. I wonder if a handgun was used in this as well. I know that we've only heard about a knife attack, but we haven't heard anything about gunshots. And maybe on the first passing of maybe that's something they're holding out, because I find it interesting that they seized this Glock handgun, and we haven't heard anything about a handgun being used. But I wonder if that was used maybe in the commission of the crime to when he maybe, allegedly, if he went into the house and use the gun first, not to shoot the gun, but maybe just to get everybody to stop. I have a gun, in holding that weapon on them, and then ultimately kills them with a knife. Just a theory, just a speculation. The suspect could have done this, but I just find it odd that they did collect this Glock handgun and quite a few other devices as well. Again, I'm just kind of throwing a theory out there, but this handguns come up a lot. Yes, to subdue victims. Exactly. That's the words I was looking for. Yeah, exactly. Because we've heard a lot about this gun in a lot of articles over the last couple of weeks, and it's been pointed out a lot. So we don't know. Maybe they were shot and then stabbed and sliced up. I mean, I don't know. We don't know, and it's only speculation on my part. But just kind of throwing that out there as well. And I don't like to throw a bunch of conspiracy stuff out there, but it could be possible. I mean, we're hearing a lot about this gun lately. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can. Perfect. Is that a little bit better for reading? Perfect. Okay. So the family, I wish I could close this. Oh, I can. Perfect. The family was raided on December 30th, and the same day in the search also carried out Mr. Kohberger's apartment in Pullman, Washington, about 15 minutes drive from the crime scene in Moscow. The Washington warrant revealed the investigators seized a collection of red spotting on a pillow with reddish-brown stain at Mr. Kohberger's apartment. At least 2 items seized from that search tested positive for blood. And that's going to be the end of that article there. And that was in the Independent, released about 14 hours ago. So what I want to do now is I have a couple of videos like I always do. This one's about 30 minutes long. It was posted about a day ago, and it will get us all completely up to speed. Now, you got to remember, this video was posted pre-indictment. So it's pre-indictment, but it will get you caught up as to where we are in this case up to about a day ago. So let's play through that. And this is from Court TV.
6 months since the murders of Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, the University of Idaho students. And coming up next month, the preliminary hearing for the alleged killer. What will it be like for the families of the victims to be in the same room with the accused? What will it be like for them to hear all the evidence? Tonight, we take a look at the next big case on Court TV, the Idaho students' murder trial. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us here on Closing Arguments. And think about these 2 cases we're going to talk about this hour, how different they are. On the one hand, you have a mother taking the life of her children. And then on the other hand, you have 4 families who are absolutely devastated because their children are gone at the hands of some stranger. The contrast could not be greater. And we're going to get into it tonight. Let's begin with the case out in Idaho. And this is the biggest case in America right now. It absolutely is in the criminal world. 6 months ago that these, I'm going to call them children. They're, by age, they're adults, they're young adults, but come on, let's be honest here. I have children this age. These are children.
If you're all just joining the stream right now, I just wanted to announce that Bryan Kohberger has been indicted in the quadruple homicide of the 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho, of Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, and then 1 count of felony burglary. Blah, 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 blah. I'll get that out. All right, let's keep playing through this.
They're still children. And what happened inside that house?
Thank you,
so
Low 12.
horrific,
I appreciate you for
beyond
coming out
measure.
this afternoon.
And you think about what's going to happen, right? Our system of justice starts moving. This is a case, could likely, if they find probable cause, et cetera, could end up being a death penalty case.
Now, again, this video was posted
4 young lives that were all just taken out at once. Think about the level of despair and heartbreak that's going to be inside that courtroom each and every day. It's unthinkable. And I want to remind you, this trial is not about him.
Yeah, I think we can't.
It's not about him. I'll tell you what, out of this mouth on this show, you're not going to hear his name. you know, guests can say his name. I'm not going to tell the people what to say, but for me, I'm not saying his name. But this trial is not about him. This trial is about 4 young people, really good people, like getting ready to step into the world and make their marks. I mean, some of them already made a mark, but to really make their marks in the world. You know, that this should be some of the most memorable and enjoyable times of their lives. You're making that step from being, like I said, a child into adulthood and getting independent and getting the first job and being responsible and making us.
I want to get to this here. Planning with Tracy said, this channel is great. Only facts. There's a channel out there that convinces their viewers that police planted evidence or there isn't enough to convict. You know, again, I'm not going to comment on other channels. I told you the 2 channels that I kind of roll with, that I've had very good relationships with. There's a lot of fringe channels that are popping up for sensationalism. There's a lot of channels that are just popping up and jumping on and making content about this particular case because it's, you know, hot and it's sexy on YouTube. We here at the Opinionated Idiot YouTube channel care about these victims, and if you don't think that I don't care about these victims, then just look at the content on my channel. I not only cover Idaho, I cover a litany of other cases as well. I just did a Jeffrey Epstein stream last night. I've been very involved in the Jesse McFadden case that's going on in Oklahoma that no one is talking about, that I'm disgusted as to what is going on. There's a lot of shady investigation going on in that case. I want to draw everybody's attention to that case. There's 300 people watching. You need to go out and research that case. If anybody, any families that are involved in that McFadden case would like to use my platform here to voice of what's going on in their area, my platform is open to you all. Just contact me, theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com, and we can set something up for you to come on and let us know what's going on in that area. That is not a surface layer crime. There is so much going on there. The discovery of what those parents found inside that home is mind-boggling, and that this is being swept on the rug right now is disgusting. There is multiple computers that have been found in that home, streaming equipment, and this case is not just what is inside that home. This is bigger. I'm sure that the horror that went on inside that home was broadcast over the internet for people to view. And we need to find those people because there's IP addresses that will be connected to the people that viewed that disgusting content. And those people need to be brought down and brought to justice. Goes deeper. And I'm going to tell you, looking at the way that there were restraints in that home, there's probably multiple sources of DNA in that home. There's multiple victims that have probably that have been to that home, and then there's multiple people that probably had partaken in the horrors that happened in that home. It's a deeper level crime, and it needs to be investigated. I've been tweeting at the governor of Oklahoma. He has not responded, and I will continue to wake up every day and send a tweet every day until someone hears about this crime. And I know that a lot of people shit on News Nation, and I don't really agree with their politics, but I got to give Banfield and Brian Enton a lot of credit because they're the only ones out there that have been reporting the Jesse McFadden case and how much of a bigger scope that this is than people think that's going on in that area. It needs to be talked about. You all need to start looking into it. And please, I urge you, watching today, go over and watch the videos that I've made about that, what's going on there. Get in there and like those videos and share it. Get this out into the content. It's a very important crime that needs to be investigated, and more people need to look into it. I'll get off my soapbox now. All right, let's keep continuing here.
The parents so proud, and to have all that taken away. But I mean, every criminal case, every murder case, we can't lose sight. I know there's someone on trial, but the case doesn't happen unless there are victims, unless there is this devastation. There is no case, there's no arrest, there's no trial, there's none of it.
I've been tweeting at Stit every morning. I just haven't heard anything. I've been posting on my community page about it. You know, we need to get this out. There's a lot going on. There's a lot more victims. I mean, there's a lot more going on. The FBI needs to investigate that.
So it's about them. It's about what is the truth about what happened to them and who is responsible for causing that, and what price will they pay for what they did to these four young souls.
College graduation, it's a time of excitement, of new
fucking places. I mean, come on. I mean, who does that look like? You know what I mean? These fucking cable channels. I mean, who does that look like?
beginnings. But here in Moscow, Idaho, this week, it's been a little bit quiet.
I haven't seen as much excitement for this graduation, like compared to the previous years.
Paige Erbely graduated from the University of Idaho and has stuck around Moscow for work. She says there's a cloud over this year's celebration, falling exactly 6 months to the day since 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered. 2 of the victims, Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves, were seniors and should be walking with their classmates. Visiting campus, you almost wouldn't know graduation was happening this weekend.
It's just a really, really touchy subject that the town is very, very sensitive to right now.
The house, still boarded up, patrolled by security 24/7 for months, is a stark reminder not only of the tragedy, but of the month-and-a-half-long manhunt that left so many here shaken.
The murders in November were really sort of shock to the whole system.
Since then, both Erbely and architecture professor Phil Mead say the town changed.
We just paid more attention. We were all much more cautious.
I used to sometimes leave my door locked and be like, whatever, Moscow's a safe town, nothing's going to happen. And of course, I don't have the luxury of thinking like that anymore.
Mead says he's been encouraged by the extra security that is still in place, but says the fact that the man accused of the crime is in jail just a few blocks away keeps the chill here.
And the courthouse is right up there, so just thinking, every once in a while I have to drive by it.
Scripps News spoke with a dozen students, and their concern is the continued microscope on their tiny town in the middle of rolling hills. Many of them still shaken by what happened.
I think it was a traumatic experience. We were all there for each other, but I also think that there is a sense of the outside world having a spotlight on the small town that you love created more.
This is really interesting. I mean, this is really the first time I've heard any really public reaction in that area from the locals.
It was hectic. It was scary.
Sarah Sullivan, a native Californian, came to Idaho because her mom went to school here. She says this is a tight-knit school full of students with deep roots.
Fellow students have really stepped up support and positive support.
The dean of students, a lot of teachers and everything have been really compassionate and really putting out resources out there, letting us know that we have someone to hear us out, hear our concerns.
The school, the families, the Greek houses where victims were members, the restaurant where 2 of the victims worked, all hesitant to make any statements that could impact their healing and the pending trial. Students in Greek life told us they've made checking in on each other's mental health a focus. After all, this case and conspiracy theories surrounding it became prevalent on social media.
There was a lot of he said, she said, and people were coming after fellow students and things and professors who were completely innocent. And you were like, that's not true. I know these people.
The murders defining this year, but the students tell us they are determined for people to know the goodness that exists here.
We've gotten through it. I think we've come out stronger as a community as a whole.
There's definitely a level of anxiety here, knowing that this tiny college town will once again be in the spotlight soon. Kohberger has not entered a plea for either his burglary or 4 murder charges. He is due back in court on June 26th.
Thank you, Lo. I
For Court TV, I'm Alex Miller.
And the families of 2 of the victims who would have graduated were honored Let's take a look.
Again, you know, I'm not saying that I'm the best, you know, true crime YouTube channels, a lot of great true crime YouTube channels. I try to just bring straight facts. You know, if I was ever stuck in one of these situations, and my life was taken, I wouldn't want anybody uh to make conspiracy theories or say a bunch of, you know, crap out there that's not true. Again, the bottom line is this: we don't know. We were not there. What we can only go off is what's being reported and what is factual information inside the court documents. Now, everything in between, we can speculate, we can sleuth out, we can find connections. But I think that it is a gross thing when people come on and say, this happened and it was drugs, and you know, it's heroin, and they're moving bales of fentanyl through that house. You don't know that, you know. And we've had some really strange people that have popped up lately and said some things. Do we think that some of it could be true? Sure. Do we think that some of these people could just be popping out for sensationalism as well? Absolutely. But we don't know. We don't know what happened in that case, in that house that night. And we don't know what happened, what led up to all of this. But we're going to find out. And we'll find out when this all goes to trial. And you can weigh whatever way you want in this. You could think that Bryan Kohberger is absolutely innocent right now. And actually he is. He's not a convicted man. He's innocent until proven guilty. Or you could be on the other side and say, no, there's just so much against this guy. He's so guilty. But we're going to find out. And we're going to find out the connection. And we're going to find out what led up to this. You know, we have our theories here on this channel. I base everything that I do here off the facts in this case, and we dig in a little bit and maybe give some theories, but they're always based off the facts. We don't come in with a bunch of crap here and say, you know, it's and I always joke about this. It's the aliens, it's Elvis, it's this, it's that. I think you guys understand what I'm saying, and I know I repeat a lot of this, but we get a lot of new viewers that come in that watch the channel, and they may not understand my platform here. But my platform here is we stick to the facts. We stick to the facts. Susie has sent in a Canadian $13.99 super sticker. I appreciate you so much for that. Thank you so much. And Arya says, yeah, it's making the victims look so bad in what's wrong. Who knows? Maybe they did do a little, you know, listen, it's a party house. Okay. I'll be honest in saying this. I'm sure there was a lot of booze there. They probably smoked pot. They probably did, you know, some other, illegal drugs, but this thing to this grand scale that it's probably this huge, this huge cartel thing. I don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it. There's not enough evidence in front of me. I think there's probably some people that came by and probably did some drugs in and out of there or whatever, but that's, you know, it's college kids. They experiment, they do things like that. Until I can be proven otherwise with facts in the case, then I will believe some of that stuff. But I don't see it right now. I just don't see it. I think this is, you know, it's just going to take a little bit of time until things get sorted out. And I'm telling you, I can't wait for, you know, opening statements when this goes to trial and we start to kind of hear how this all unfolded. You know, it seems like there's a lot of information to go through, a lot of information.
During a private ceremony on Monday, we awarded a certificate in marketing to the family of Xana Alexia Kernodle.
Well, I'm just going to answer this really quick. I know that Devadol's been kind of saying this. She's asking me, she said, probably has seen in the chat, True Crime Cafe with Dago is willing to collaborate with you on this if you're up for it. He phones the office, etc. And this is a deep way. So here's the thing with the collabs. I haven't done really a lot of collabs, and I really don't want to do a lot of collabs because I think sometimes when you don't line up and you agree with maybe the way that a channel may be going or a way that you use your platform, that can cause a little bit, I think, some tension or back and forth. I just kind of want to really concentrate on what I'm doing here and build this channel right now. So collabs probably for the future, I'm not going to be doing many of that. I really need to build my core base here. And I really don't like to, I'll be honest with you, I don't watch other true crime channels at all, especially on this case, because I don't want that to really cloud my perspective or my vision of what I want to bring to my audience. And I hope you all can understand that. Again, there are some really great channels out there. They're doing their own content, and that's their platform to do that. I realize that a lot of people in this chat and watch my channel, watch those channels as well. But I don't really want to, I guess, I don't want to say like similar content. I like to keep things fresh. I like to keep things to my ideas. Again, I was really one of the first ones that went and looked back from the very beginning of this case. And if you haven't seen it, I did a 7-part series on that. I was the first to really do that. And then I just found it funny, like everybody started doing it. We need to look back. We need to look back. That's the thing. And it's just kind of like, all right, like, can we all think of maybe something different here? So I just really want to do things here, and I need to build my channel and my audience and just give my perspective here. So that's kind of what I'll say on all of that. Thank you so much for really asking to do that. But unless it's some really special circumstance, I really just want to keep things clear in the vision, what I have here. I have a really great person that joins my panel, Laura, and we have just a really great vibe, and we get on a similar wavelength, and can really just go through this stuff and break it down for everybody. I just want to keep things like authentic here. I don't want to have a clouded vision of other creators or material, because I like to come up with my own stuff. So, and that's not jacking on any other channels. I really just want to get a void from talking about other channels and what they do. But again, you guys all know who I align with. Drunk Turkey, Publicly Buzzed. I really like those guys. We vibe. Every once in a while, maybe every like month or two, we'll jump on and just kind of see, where we all stand in the case. And that's really who I kind of align with. And if they asked me to do anything, of course I would do stuff with them. But all these other channels, I just kind of want them to do their thing, and I'm going to keep doing my thing here. And that's really all I want to say more about that. So that's where I'm at. That's how I feel. Okay, we'll keep playing.
A certificate in recreation, sport, and tourism management will be delivered to the family of Ethan James Chapin in the coming weeks. In our morning commencement ceremony, we awarded a posthumous Bachelor of Science degree in business to the family of Madison May Mogan.
Yeah, so I have a question here in the chat. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the 90-minute Dave interview you heard. Sure, I think that's something that we're going to get into maybe a little later. We might possibly dip in that on Saturday night when I have Laura on the panel. We're going to have a presentation together for you guys, because you know how we always love to do like presentations. And we'll probably dip on that maybe on Saturday. I'm going to save that for then. But again, today, what I wanted to do was come in, and if you're just joining in on the chat now or joining into the panel, breaking news, Bryan Kohberger has been indicted. So there will not be a preliminary hearing on June 26th. He's been indicted for the 4 murders in Moscow, Idaho, with 1 charge of felony burglary as well, for the murders of Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana. And if it is your first time over here on the channel, please get over to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I would appreciate it. You know what? Actually, I'll speak on that really quick. I'm going to speak on this really quick, and I'm going to try to do this. I'll be careful what I say. I think that if you are someone that has recently come out, okay, I'm not afraid to say this. If you are someone that has recently come out and you have information that could potentially help exonerate exonerate the suspect in this case, or help and insist in the investigation with things that could have happened on the morning to fill in that gap, or the night of the murders, or maybe something that led up to the murders. If you are someone that has that information, then why haven't you gone to the authorities? Why haven't you talked to the police? Why haven't you called a representative? Why haven't you called the FBI? Now, I'm not saying that none of these people haven't done that, but I just find it extremely strange that they're taking a tour on YouTube and they haven't talked to any type of authorities, so they say. So I'll leave you all with that thought. And then you guys are adults. You can all make your assumptions on what you think is credible or not. And again, I'm not saying that these people aren't credible. I'm not saying that they aren't. But I'll leave you to think about that. I just find it very strange that if you have evidence in any single portion of this case that could help, why wouldn't you be talking to authorities to help? Either to exonerate 100% Bryan Kohberger, this guy didn't do it, it was these two people over here, or I have evidence to information as what happened that night in that house, or what happened that into the morning before, in between that 8-hour gap. If you have evidence to help that, then why wouldn't you be talking to someone? Why would you be doing a tour on YouTube? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's what I'll say. I don't feel any ill will about saying that. That's kind of what I see. So
now we will present 2 bachelor's degrees. First, a bachelor's degree in general studies to the family of Kaylee Jade.
It just
Gonzalez.
doesn't add up.
The family will receive the diploma of the University
of Idaho. Well, Richard, if you listen to me, if you just heard what I said, I pointed out what I felt, and then I said, I don't know if they've gone. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. If you need to rewind the stream, I would do that, because I just stated, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But I just find it strange that you would be out on YouTube touring around and telling this information if you haven't already gone to the authorities and there's something that could help someone in this case. That's what I stated. That's what I said. You can go back and rewind it if you need to. I realize there's a lot of people that don't like what I do here because I stick to the facts and I don't get into crazy conspiracy theories. There's a lot of people that don't like that. And that's why I don't have these people on my panel, because it doesn't serve anything to me to serve to my audience to have people like this on my panel. Now, whatever other channels choose to do and have that content, that's their business. But I will not have that here. I won't have it here unless there's something that's in a document or a legal statement or whatever, or I've been to authorities or whatever, then we'll entertain that. But I just don't see that it brings any value.
We will present a Bachelor of Science in Business degree to the family of Madison May Mogan.
Posthumous degree earned. In testimony whereof, her family will receive the diploma of the University of Idaho.
This is just part of their journey for these families. I want you to listen to 2 of the fathers, Maddie's and Kaylee's father, who have spoken out about this. Let's listen.
It's obviously an emotional time for the family, seeing the defendant for the first time. This is the beginning of the criminal justice system, and the family will be here for the long haul.
I was pretty angry. I was pretty heated. I wanted him to look me in the eye. He knows I want him to look in the eye. So he didn't give me that.
You never know how far something like this reaches, how many people it hurts, and how they're gonna have to live with this for the rest of their life. And it's just something that'll never heal,
So I think he understands that I'm not gonna see something in his eyes that I want to see. I want to see an innocent man. But I feel like he's just scared to look at me in the eyes and start to understand what's about to happen to him.
So we heard from some of the fathers, and what's it going to be like for these dads and for these families? I've got two special guests tonight joining us. First, we have the father of Polyclass and the president of Class Kids Foundation. Mark Class is with us. Mark, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been too long. And also joining us, Parkland victim Alex Schachter's father and founder and CEO of Safe Schools for Alex. Max Schachter is with us. Thank you, Max. Great to see you again. You guys have a perspective that no one ever wants to have, but you have it. So if you could, I'll start with you, Mark.
You know, and I kind of want to make this point again, too. You know, you all have to realize that there are families involved, there's communities involved, there's friends, relatives, victims. People's lives stopped instantly. 4 lives stopped. But our lives go on, and that community has to go on, and those families have to go on. We don't know any of those people. Now, there may be some people here that watch that know those families directly or the victims directly, but I don't know any of those victims. Would I feel like on my conscience, would I feel good to put conspiracy theories out there about what happened, that they were involved in, you know, these drugs and this money and all that? I consciously could never live like that, to spread misinformation. I just couldn't do it. I would feel disgusted about myself. So think about that too. To bear that on your conscience, to put that out in the ether, and let's say we get to this trial and it comes to find out that it was something a little bit more, I guess, simpler than it was, or we get to this trial and all this awful stuff that has been said about everybody in this is not true, and Bryan Kohberger walks. You know, he's innocent, and we don't have the person or people that have done this, and that we need to continue to investigate this. But look of all the stuff that's been said about these people, that they've turned into the disgusting people that have, you know, they're the demons in this. You know, the 4 that got killed all of a sudden somehow got turned into, you know, they're the bastards and they're the sons of bitches. I just consciously can't live like that. And all of a sudden, like, you know, I'm kind of figuratively speaking right now, Bryan Kohberger has become the hero all of a sudden. You know, I don't see how people can live like that with that on their conscience. And again, I'm not saying that Kohberger is guilty, because he is right now innocent until proven guilty. But that's a lot of things that bother me in this case. The things that I see that are written, the things that I hear on other channels, the things that are put out there into the ether, that all of a sudden the 4 people that got murdered, they're the bad people. You know, they've turned into the bad people. There's drugs, there's guns, there's this, there's that, there's money, there's OnlyFans, there's sex, and there's violence, and da-da-da-da-da. How do 4 people that are innocently murdered, they're the bad people? I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
What will it be like for these families? I mean, at this preliminary hearing, they're going to hear the evidence for the first time. They're going to hear some of these details. What will that be like for them?
Well, Vinny, it's truly a constant assault on your sensibilities, because you're sitting in a dispassionate setting, listening to the last few hours of your child's life be dissected, analyzed, deconstructed, reconstructed, cross-referenced, and compartmentalized. And the instruction to you is, don't show any emotion, or you may be removed from the courtroom. So unless you've been in a situation like this, unless you've experienced the trauma of losing your child, and then the reality of having to face that killer in the courtroom every day, it's really kind of an unimaginable thing. It's very difficult, though.
Max, how about, you know, one is you're hearing the evidence and the details. The other thing is you're in the room with the accused killer.
Yeah, no question about it. It's really, really hard. I think for us, the hardest part was looking and seeing the defense really coddle the Parkland murderer, touch him and put their arm around him and listen to the testimony of the defense, which wants you to think that he's the victim and not your children that were brutally murdered. So I think that the parents need to be prepared for them to dress him up like Howdy Doody. They're going to put his seat all the way to the ground. They're going to put him in a sweater vest,
so glad you found it,
possibly like they did with the Menendez brothers. And in Parkland, we listened to months and months of a trial, and then
for a second, says often wonder how much tension there is to be in that community with all the accusations that have been thrown around and people blaming each other. No, I 100% agree. I mean, I'm sure, that's the thing that people have to understand is that there are innocent lives that were involved and taken, and that to go out and just be on a platform and spread a bunch of stuff that may not be true. I just don't know how you consciously could live like that. Are you doing it for clicks and views? Do you really care about these victims? I think that there are some platforms out there that don't give a shit, and they're just going to spew whatever they want and talk any way they want to get someone to draw them in to their channel. What's the guy? Tyler Feller. I don't really like his channel, but I have to say this, his approach is very much the same like mine, and he uses articles or gets factual case information and talks about it that way. I have to give some credit to the guy. I don't particularly like his channel. I don't know if he's watching or whatever, but I just, at least he's out there giving relevant information. So, again, I don't want to talk bad about other channels. I don't want to bring all that stuff. And I knew this kind of would draw out some of this today. But I think just people have to be very careful what they say, because our lives go on. Their lives have stopped. And this, you don't even understand what a death, a murder does to a family. I've been through it. My best friend was murdered. I've been through it. I've seen what happens to families. It devastates them. It splits them apart. You have, you have victim guilt. You have a lot of guilt that grows within that family, and families separate. I am so glad that Steve and Christy have stuck together through all of this, because you start pointing, there's many times in families start pointing fingers at each other, and it's hard to get through that. And I'm sure they have had tons of counseling to get through this. Their lives have changed. Their lives have changed. And they're never going to be able to get over this, even when there is a particular ending in this case. But when this case ends, our lives go on, and then it's on to the next thing. And then, I always sit here and challenge all of you, what will be the next thing that you move on to? What will be the next thing that you move on to? And that's why I do other cases on this channel and bring light to things that need to be brought here. As much as I want justice in this case, but there are other cases out there that are very important that need attention as well, too. And I urge everybody, please come on, watch the other streams that we have. There's viable information on those streams. There can be other conversations to be had about cases that are currently going on right now. I've really soapboxed a lot today.
Was really hard, was so upsetting, was at the end of the trial, the defense closing argument, she said that you basically could disregard all the evidence and just vote your conscience. And she played on their conscience and told them that you'll never forgive yourself if you vote for the death penalty. And there's a lot of similarities between Idaho and Parkland. We had a death penalty here as well. It had to be unanimous. And, it just takes one. It just takes one juror to vote for life. So they're going to throw everything. The defense will throw everything, the kitchen sink, to the jury to try to get, just one sympathy vote. and it's really hard. You know, we know who the victims are, and I hope that the DA does a good job and makes sure that the entire world never forgets who all of these beautiful kids were, and that the killer, the murderer, you know, gets punished, and I hope that justice will be served for the families.
Yeah.
Mark, what sort of advice do you give to folks when you speak with them, you know, who are going through what you went through?
Well, you have to be a fly on the wall, actually. You can't emote. You know, in a sense, Vinny, you said the trial's about the 4 victims here, but
thank you, Patty.
From our point of view, from the family's point of view,
I'm going to be honest with you. When I opened up the stream today, I literally held back. If you're going to understand one thing on this channel, I'm a very emotional person. Okay. I'm a Pisces. I'm very emotional. I'm going to give you emotion. I'm going to show you emotion. I don't hold it back. You know, if you want to call me a sensitive Sandy, then go ahead. But I am very emotional. I'm very attached to this case, and I get very emotional about it because, again, you know, these are human lives that we're talking about. This is not a fucking movie or a you know, something like that. And I think people lose sight of that. And that's why I urge, you know, content creators, be respectful in what you do. Be respectful in what you put out there, because we are the people that are shaping and changing the minds of people that watch us. You come here for a specific reason. You come here because you like me. You come here because you're interested in the content. I think that we have as a public interest to try to give good, factual, viable information out there. But when you're inserting things and putting things into people's heads, like a lot of news media today, and it's not factual or it's not based on some type of fact, I don't see how that serves justice to anybody involved in this case, whether it be the victims or the person that is accused, the suspect that is accused of this crime. How does that help? How does that help? And I challenge all of you going forward, let's be a little bit more thorough in what we do, because this is how bad information starts. And this is how crap information starts. And that's how fringe true crime channels pop up, that are just popping up to jump on some conspiracy theory to try to get clicks and views, to get people to watch. Because I get it. We're human beings. We're all very, very, very curious people. That's our nature. That's how our brains work. That's how we're designed. And you know, I think over the last couple of years, that's really amplified it with, you know, what we went through with the pandemic. You know, what was the only thing that we could do? We could just turn to our phones. And I think it hyper, what's the word I'm looking for? It just took all of our emotions and sensitive, and brought us from like a level here to this crazy level. You know, we had a lot of shit that was thrown at us for almost 3 years. That definitely changed our brains. It definitely changed the way that we took in information. But, and I think that's where all this, like, really, the first time I really understood and started to really become consciously aware of it, of like conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I think it became really heavy over the pandemic. You know, there was a lot of misinformation that was put out there. There was a lot of good information that was put out there. There was a lot of information that was censored. There was a lot of good information that was censored. There was a lot of bad information that was censored. And whatever your thoughts are on the pandemic, I'm not going to get into it on this stream, but I'm just using this as an example. You all know what happened. You know, everybody took to YouTube. Everybody went to TikTok. That was really the only thing that we had to do. So we got this moment in life to pause like we've never paused before. And our brains started to change and develop and took us to this other level of consciousness. And I think that's where we really tap into these just weird angles and weird developments that we have, thoughts inside our brain. And it may translate into things like this. You know, this is a big deal. A lot of people are very invested in this case. You know, and I'll kind of come around and I'll stop talking here and go back to the video. But I just don't think it serves anything good to interject, crap, So anyway, let me thank Henry Dogs has become a new YouTube member of the channel, supported the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. And let's see. Glenn says, hello, future in the Opinionated Idiot. I'm in the past chat about 1:20 p.m. EST, and I'm starting the show. Yes, you're breaking this as far as I can tell even now. Thank you so much. Again, if you're just joining in on the stream, please go down there and smash the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel here. If you want to support in any way, there's multiple ways to do that. You can super chat. You can go down there, hit the join button, join a monthly membership, or it's free just to smash that like button. I really would appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm giving you some good, relevant information today. You're really getting some. I think this is the first time I really outpoured and gave a lot of my thoughts because I'm super emotional today. I held back. I'm going to be honest. I held back some tears when I saw the article come up because I feel like we've worked so hard so far to get to this point, and it's going to start giving some outlet of justice. It's no more sitting. We're going to get to the grand jury today. If you haven't heard, grand jury today has indicted Bryan Kohberger in the 4 murders, the quadruple homicides in the Idaho, Moscow, Idaho case of Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, and 1 count of felony burglary. So we'll keep playing through this video here. I appreciate it. We've held about 300 people through this entire stream. Thank you so much for joining me on this kind of odd Wednesday hump day here, May 17, 2023. And, again, listen, there's a lot of people that will not agree with what I do here. There's a lot of people that will agree with what we do here. But, I'm just really pouring from the heart today. And I'm glad that this is going to get moved to a grand jury. I'm glad that we're going to possibly see a trial soon. We'll hopefully get justice for these victims or justice for Bryan Kohberger, because, again, he is still innocent until proven guilty, but we will let the court of law decide that and let a jury of his peers decide that. Let's keep playing.
Trial is about the killer. It's about spending tons of money, utilizing the resources of the court system to give this guy every chance he can grab to excuse and justify the inexcusable and the unjustifiable, the blatant murder of children. So it almost becomes an exercise in just trying to hold your emotions together as this whole thing goes down.
Max,
over the long term.
There's so many different parts of this, right? There's when the murder first happens, and then the wheels start turning slowly. Is there any point, if you were speaking to another parent, is there any point where, and I'm not going to use the C word, closure, but is there any point where things get a little bit better for the family, where you can sleep a little better, or is that not even, in the equation?
We had hoped that we would have some semblance of justice, and that we would, that the Parkland murderer would get what he deserved. But unfortunately, we lost complete faith in the criminal justice system because there was one juror that was a hard no against the death penalty. She voted for life, and then 2 other jurors voted along with her. So the Parkland murderer, got what he had wanted all this time, which was life in prison. He didn't want the death penalty, and this just continued on with his life. He was a violent individual since he was 3 years old, and he never had any consequences. And then, and then he didn't get the ultimate punishment. And so I hope that doesn't happen to these families, but they should be prepared for them not to get the justice that they deserve. Unfortunately, the criminal justice system is extremely flawed, and it's not fair.
Mark, what's it like the day after day, right? You're in court, and then you leave, you know you're coming back the next day and the next day and the next day. What is that whole time like?
It's horrible. I mean, it's one of the worst imaginable times in your life. It's not as bad, obviously, as the realization that you've...
So I'm going to probably move on from this because it just seems like we're talking about the Parkland shooter. And actually, I'm going to move up here. Let's see. And no disrespect to that, but, you know, we are here for Idaho news.
I'm about to be the biggest drug dealer that you... Weeknight, 6-7.
Police vehicles, people going in.
Okay, let's go back.
I got a text from my mom, and she said, "Hey, you're in Steptoe Apartments. Look outside your door." And I looked right outside, and I saw the crime tape, and I saw the unmarked police vehicles, people going in to do the crime scenes.
So I know there's been a lot of question about the 8-hour time gap and how news travels quick. I mean, right here, I mean, this gentleman is even saying that he was getting text from his mom the morning that the apartment was getting raided over at Bryan Kohberger's apartment. So it leads me to believe that a lot of information the morning of the murders between all of the roommates that survived, there was most likely information being shared via text. And, you know, and we did hear in that interview with Dave that allegedly that they were some communication going around. As far as what happened in between that 8-hour gap, I still haven't put all those pieces together. We're still looking into it and giving us kind of our thoughts. And I think that's the number one thing right now, like what had happened, you know, that what had happened. And I can neither deny or confirm, you know, those alleged reports. And I'm not saying that, you know, Dave is credible or not credible, but, you know, just leads me to believe here that, you know, there was some information that was sent around, and it goes quick. I mean, we have technology in our hands now. You don't think that one person's going to slip out and say, hey, you know, everybody's grabbing their phones now. You know, they're taking a video or sending a text. I mean, shit gets out quick nowadays. I mean, we have that power in our hands to do that. So we'll keep playing through this here.
Search, and I was just flabbergasted that he lived right there. It's like, wow, that was right next door. So, you know, just maybe think about the couple times I was walking home late at night, you know, and this is kind of a family-friendly area and really safe. So it kind of was flabbergasted that there could have been a killer next door.
Yeah, the accused killer living next door. Scary stuff. Chanley Painter went through the affidavit after the arrest of the suspect in the Idaho student murder case. Went through it and to get some idea of the evidence that was gathered by investigators. Let's take a listen.
The family of the victims and millions around the country have frantically searched for clues about what happened on the night Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle were brutally murdered. The probable cause affidavit provides some answers. It lays out a timeline of what prosecutors say happened during those early morning hours of November 13th, 2022.
All right, nothing really new here. I'm just going to move on from this video. I have actually, I don't really like court TV too much. I have things from Law and Crime Network, and I have that I wanted to play here. It's going to give you a little bit more closer to an update of what's going on. And then I'm probably going to bang out and end this stream because I have a few things that I need to do today. But let's play this. This is recent. This was just posted about 14 hours ago. So let's play this from Law and Crime Network.
This is a very extensive case. It involves multiple victims. So the amount of evidence collection will be voluminous and it will be extensive because the investigation.
If you haven't already and you're just joining the stream here, please go down and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. It's free to do that as well. If you haven't heard already, Bryan Kohberger has been indicted in the quadruple homicide in the Moscow murders. We'll keep moving on here. It has been indicted by a grand jury.
Be extensive.
Bryan Kohberger's defense team is bombarded with thousands of pieces of evidence just 6 weeks before he's due back in court for a preliminary
Thank you,
hearing.
Candy. Appreciate you.
It's the first time the accused murderer will appear in court since early January.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree.
Thank you so much.
It alleges
Henry,
that
I
the
appreciate
defendant,
you.
Bryan C. Kohberger, on or about November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being, by stabbing Madison Mogen, from which she died.
Thank you so
On
much
November
for
13th
your
of last year,
PayPal. I
4
appreciate
University
that.
of Idaho students
You
were
guys
found
want to
stabbed
contribute
to
to the
death in
stream,
their
you can.
off-campus
There's
home.
multiple ways to do that. You can go down there, hit the join button. My monthly memberships are only $1.99. They started at $1.99. That'll get you into the Discord group where we have all our back room chatter. It's a very nice group. It's very respectful. There's a lot of people in there that don't agree with me, which I think is great. They bring a different, interesting angle to our conversations, and we're very, very respectful. And I will update the Discord link when I get off of the live here in a little bit. You can just go onto my community tab and see that. I'm on Twitter. You can connect with me there. And I'm also have Facebook as well. All my links will be posted after this. You can always super chat, or just any way that you want to contribute is fine. It's completely up to you. I don't beg for money, so
For
any way
weeks,
that you want to
police in
do it, it's
Moscow,
fine. If
Idaho,
not,
kept
it's
tight-lipped
fine
about
too.
the case,
I'm glad that people are
releasing
interested
few
here.
details, with the exception of a vehicle of interest, a white Hyundai Elantra.
We are confident that the occupant or occupants of that vehicle have information that's critical to this investigation.
Officials later connected that vehicle to Kohberger, who at the time of the murders was studying at Washington State University, only about 10 minutes from the University of Idaho.
Finds probable cause, you would be bound over to district court. And at that time, you can enter a plea of not guilty, and you can have a jury trial set within 6 months of your appearance in district court.
Kohberger was arrested in late December at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. Investigators used trash recovered from his family home to link Kohberger to DNA recovered on a knife sheath found at the crime scene. At a press conference post-arrest, Pennsylvania authorities touched on what evidence was recovered at his parents' home.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence.
The $4.99
that
super
means the
chat
state bears a
from
burden to prove that
Tsunami.
you are guilty of this offense.
After a
Support those
court
who
appearance
don't
in
ask
Monroe County,
for
Pennsylvania
support.
in
Thank you
early
so much,
January,
Tsunami. I appreciate
Kohberger
that.
was
I try to
extradited
keep-
back to Idaho.
I try to keep that on the low key. I get it. There's a lot of people on here that kind of, beg for money. It's just not really my style. I might shout it out once or twice during the stream, and people can choose to do what they want. They're smart. They know how to contribute if they want to do that. But the most important thing is that we have eyeballs on this case, and we're giving good, relevant information and getting that sub count up. I just want to get this channel as big as it can grow. We're very close to 5,000 subs. I just did an update here. I just flipped my update here. I'm at 4810. I'm really tasting that 5,000. Once we get to that 5,000, we'll do a 5,000 celebration stream for all of you. I would have never imagined that in like almost 2.5 months, my channel's close to 5,000 subs. So, again, this channel goes because of the people that come here. You all are the ones that come in and take time out of your day, an hour or 2, or maybe 3 hours a day when I go live to come hang out and really support me over here and just help grow this channel. That's the most important thing, is just growing this channel. So thank you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate that.
Idaho. Since then, he's been held in the Latah County, Idaho jail, about 1 mile from the crime scene. His defense now receiving a plethora of evidence from the prosecution ahead of his coming court date.
Not only will they have to investigate
super
the
sticker
totality
from
of
Danielle. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate you. You're always in the chat. You've always been a huge supporter of the channel. You've been here from day one, one of the first ones. So I appreciate that, and appreciate you hanging out. I mean, you're here almost in all of the lives. Believe me, I recognize the names. I know the names. I see the names. It's really nice to just to build this community. And AZ, another one that's just been here from day one and has said, he's a $10 super chat, says what Tsunami said, and I'll raise. That's very kind to you. Very, very nice. And AZ has been here, one of the first ones from day one. I mean, I can remember, 2.5, 3 months ago, I literally would go live and there would be like 5 people watching. But I knew with the consistency, giving good, relevant information, building this community, that things would get better here, and they do. It just takes time and progress. YouTube is not an overnight game. I've had this channel up for 3 years. I've changed content on this channel many of times, and I finally feel like I'm in my niche, in my place in life where I need to be an advocate for true crime, and be an advocate for victims, and just keep giving good, relevant information. If you're first here on my channel today, look, I'm in my bedroom right now. It's a beautiful spring day, but I choose to be in here with all of you to do this, to break this news. And my dream one day is to get this out of my bedroom and into an actual working studio, kind of like a Joe Rogan style podcast, where I can have multiple people come in from all around the world and help these victims. Maybe some cases that need to be brought more to the forefront, or maybe bring some information to some cold cases, or just maybe people that have been falsely convicted or had issues with law enforcement or whatever. I want to hear all those types of things and bring that content out there. So I appreciate you. Look, I'm feeling the love today. I appreciate all of you so much. Wow. I just would have never seen this. I have a lot of super chats to go through here. Let's see. 44 says, I refuse to support channels that spread lies for views. Keep it up. And it's a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. And then Tsunami comes back over with a $19.99 super chat as well. It says, AZ, I call and raise. Oh boy, this might get a little crazy. Candy says, give Bryan some love in the chat. He works hard. You're doing a great job, Bryan. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love. You guys are amazing. Dave Hill has become a new member of the channel. And wow, you guys are having a battle in the chat. We're having a battle in the chat here with the super chats. Wow, it's crazy. Thank you so much. I'm speechless. I really am speechless. Let's see. We got a $20 super chat from AZ. It says, show him Tsunami. So these guys they're battling it out here. I appreciate that. Cranky has gifted a membership. We had a lot of new members. Candy has gifted a membership. You guys are amazing, and you really support and help this community. I would have never thought. I would have never thought. Gianna with a $5 super chat says, keep up the work, Bryan. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. It's really kind of all you guys today to do that, and hopefully the content I brought today can give you all some give you all some things to think about. Listen, I know I went through a lot of things today. I tend to stay away from talking about other channels because it's just not my style, but we need to going forward. And I challenge all of the other channels out there. I'm going to challenge all of you. Let's give good, relevant content from now on. Let's settle down on the conspiracy theories. Let's let this get into court and see what has to offer with the evidence, and sort through this in the right way. Let's give justice to these victims. And again, Bryan Kohberger is not guilty right now. He is an innocent. He's a suspect. He's being held as the alleged suspect in this crime, and he's innocent until proven guilty. And he will be given his date in court. I got a $2 super chat from Dave Hill. Thank you so much. Cranky using the $2 the 2 month. He's been a 2-month member here. Says, just keeping it real. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There's a lot of loves in the chat right now. You're a wonderful advocate for true crime victims. Love your heart and pure, and you are you're very rare. Again, I'm not the best true crimer. I might not be the best live streamer. I just try to get this information out there and let you all sort through it. Kelly says, I love this channel. Truth, facts, smile, and love that I can feel it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's get to 5K today. I'm hoping we get to 5K. We can do a celebration for 5K. I appreciate it. We're at 48:15 right now. Let's finish up this video here.
The crime and provide that information, but they will also have to investigate each victim individually, along with each defendant.
Candy says, saying that I see in Wednesdays you normally don't go live. I'm sure you're glad you did. I'm glad that I did to get this information out. That's all I really care about. I just want to get this information out and get good relevant information out there before things start to get twisty and fly on YouTube, because I know that's probably going to happen later on. But I'm sure there are other channels out there that will do that will give some great content. Things I'm trying to work on is the ahs in between when I talk. So I'm trying to become a little bit better of a public speaker. And I just did an but I'm trying to get a little better at that. But again, I just want to get on today and give some breaking news and some good relevant information and content today. I'm just trying to think of what I was going to say, and I just totally forgot. But we'll finish this up.
Everyone that they interviewed. So everything.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm facing some challenges at work. I know down there I have live shows Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. My streams are probably going to change for a little while. I may be doing some daytime streams in between days that I have off, or I may, just stick to whatever time I can get at night. So I might have some later streams. I'm going to try to be very respectful to, the channels that I align myself with and try not to stream over them as best as I can. But, we'll fit it in somewhere. We'll fit it in, and I'll do some housekeeping announcements here. I do want to let you all know this. I think I have a theory of what I'm going to do on my replays. So replays, when I download them and re-upload them, I'm going to probably replay those on nights that I'm not streaming. So I will replay it at like 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the nights that I'm not streaming live. So you're going to get a repeat show, but at least gives you an opportunity to go back and watch it. So I know if you go in there and you go, why is he not chatting? Why is he saying the date is different? It's going to say on the thumbnail and in the title that it is a replay. So that just, if anybody missed that stream, I can I'm going to re-upload it so you all can watch and go over and hang out. So, and I may pop in just in those chats and hang out if I have time. So Lo says, I love the compassion on this channel. Outstanding. Thank you so much. Candy said something very nice up here. She said, oh, stop it. Don't be so hard on yourself. You might have a Boston accent, but my Jersey accent gets pointed out every day and I hate it. Thank you. Jen DC says, you guys haven't heard my Frenchy Quebec accent yet. Yeah. Oh, you forget about it. Forget about it. Susan says you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Tsunami says, Brian, you need to get that Napoleon Dynamite Idiot sound clip. Yeah, I got to work on getting some new sounds. Henry Dog just sent another PayPal. Thank you for the support, Henry Dog. I appreciate you. Sandra says, I love it when your Boston accent comes out. I'm from North Boston. Oh, hey, Sandra. All right. You still in the Boston area? That'd be cool if you were. Yeah, I'm very close to Boston. I'm not far away. I'm very close to the stadium, actually. And I would say don't go anywhere. If you live in the Boston area, in around the Boston area, stay away from Gillette Stadium over the next 3 days over this weekend, because Taylor Swift is in town and it's going to be fucking bedlam over there to try to get around anywhere. But let's play this through. I'm going to do another probably 10 minutes here and then wrap this up. I do have, unfortunately, some things to go through to do in my personal life, but I'm sure there's going to be multiple channels streaming tonight on their platforms. I'm sure you find some good relevant content, and if you're on the replay crew, I appreciate it. And
compacted.
Thank you for coming here today.
But it is a lot of evidence, and 10,000 is actually
5K by this weekend.
A lot, but not
5K.
Law enforcement instructor Sonny Slaughter tells Law and Crime Network the amount of evidence Kohberger's defense recently received may seem like a lot, but it's relatively normal.
Bing, bing,
After
bong,
multiple
bong,
motions
bing, bing.
by the defense, the prosecution handed over 10,000 pages
Where's
of
everybody
reports
from?
and other
Post it in
written
the chat.
material, more than 10,000 photographs,
Where's everybody from?
9,200
Post it in the chat.
tips, and 51 terabytes of audio and video.
when you think about the evidence, so they're looking at the crime
20
scene
more super
and they have
chats.
all of the photos from the crime scene. So in the crime scene tech is taking a lot of photos.
That's my
and
dream.
then
You know, my dream is to build this platform one day that I never have to go work for a corporate company ever again. That is my dream. That's what I want to do. And I'm hoping by next year I can sustain enough here on YouTube and drop down to a part-time job. And then eventually when this gets big enough that I can drop off and have this become my career. Because this is really what I want to do. I really am very passionate about this and I want to do it, but it's going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight. And who knows? And if it doesn't work, it's okay, because it's a section and it's a period in our lives together that we spent time together, and we brought some awareness to what's going on, and we got some really good viable content out there for people to look at. Wow, really? Wow, look at this. South Africa watching today. Let's go up and check this out real quick before we finish up the stream. We got Michigan, we got neighbors, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Quebec, we got California, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Mississippi, Cape May, New Jersey, New Jersey, Indiana again, New Jersey, New York, Arizona. Oh no, I'm sorry, AZ. South Africa, my South African friends watching today. Houston, Toronto, New Jersey, Tennessee. What else we got? Ohio, South Wales, UK. Wow, we're reaching across the pond. Seattle, in Houston, Texas. Ohio, Bama, Utah. Justin says thanks from Utah. Thank you. Henry Dogs in Utah as well. We got London, UK, Texas, San Diego. South Africa is amazing. PA is in the house. That's so cool. Look at all the states that we reach. Toronto. I hope, Brenda. She's from Phoenix. Thank you. I hope someday. I hope this gets really big. I want it to blow up. All right, let's keep playing.
Cataloging all of that evidence. And then they're having to go back through. There's a huge digital footprint that was used in this case. So they have to go and categorize and review every piece of the digital footprint that they gathered from Bryan's and from each victim and from people that
Thank you, Reba. I appreciate you.
And from all of the cameras. And there are multiple states and law enforcement agencies, so all of that information is necessary.
Kohberger's defense specifically narrowed in on information from his arrest in Pennsylvania, requesting body and dash camera
awesome
video.
Stuff, huh, Candy?
They are looking to see, or according to what they're stating, there is something in the body cam footage and the dash cam footage where he may have been taken into the car and he was talking or they were talking, and that would be rolling information that they want to look at. So apparently they've heard something, or Bryan has indicated himself that something was said during that incident, which requires them to really take a look at it.
But according to newly released court documents, there may not be any Pennsylvania body or dash cam recordings at all. The documents read in part, quote, "The state has disclosed all items it is aware of relating to the search and arrest of Bryan Kohberger in Pennsylvania. The state is unaware of any body cam and dash cam footage beyond what has been disclosed." Even still, Slaughter says information from Kohberger's Pennsylvania arrest should be important to his defense team.
And each state and each jurisdiction is going to look different. So you need to know what those laws look like to ensure that law enforcement follow the proper procedure. And then there was evidence that they collected at the scene along with the investigation on the family members.
Oh, I do want to say this before everybody kind of bolts out here pretty soon. I do have this. I have these opinionated idiot bracelets that I made. They say opinionated idiot YTC on them, and then on the flip side it says be opinionated. I'm sorry, official idiot. So I have these for sale. I'm gonna I have to keep these just to U.S. residents because I tried to send one to Canada for like literally for free. I was gonna give it to someone, and it almost was gonna cost me like $30 to fix it. So they're $10 if you want to purchase one. They're available here. I'll send them out anywhere in the US for $10. That's really, I'm not making any profit. I'm telling you, it's the shipping. That's literally the shipping and the mailer that I have to purchase. So I'm not making any money. I'm just basically getting this out. You're just paying for postage, really. So if you're interested in getting a bracelet, I'm working on doing an e-com page where you can just go to it. You'll enter your address information in. I'm going to have a photo of the actual bracelet that you can see. They're going to be like $10. And then what I can do is collect your information and I send out a PayPal link. If you're interested right now, I don't have an e-com page right now, but if you're interested in getting a bracelet, email me at theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com. You need to give me a viable address that I can send it to. And then what I'll do is I'll set you up with a PayPal link and you can just PayPal me directly and I'll get that out to you. So just email me at theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com, put in the title bracelet, give me all your particular information it can be sent to, and I'll get a PayPal link out to you. And we can go from there. But I am going to get an actual working like e-com page where it just does it all automatically, takes your order, and then I can just send it. I'll literally be packing them and sending them myself. All right, let's finish up this video, and then I'm going to get out of here. I do have a few things that I need to do. Today. So I appreciate everybody hanging out. Candy says, I can help you with mailing addresses too. I'll look into it this week. All right, awesome, Candy. I appreciate that. Let's finish this up.
Any camera footage, any pictures that they were taking, that's really going to be crucial. And
another thing that I'm trying to do as well, and I'm sorry
they really need to
stopping this video, I'm trying to get postcards. I would love to get postcards from like around the world or just in the United States. If you want to send me a postcard for where you live, I'm going to post my post office box here in the chat. I would love to get postcards from you guys because I want to eventually, if I ever get a studio, I want to hang them up everywhere in the studio. And I think that would be really cool to do that, to see where all the different people watch from. So my post office box is in the chat. I just dropped it in there. If you want to get a postcard together, send it to me. I would love to get that. So it's going to be the Opinionated Idiot, 11 Robert Toner Boulevard, suite number 5, number 377, and that's in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, 02760. I would love to get a postcard from you guys.
to look at the evidence.
After Kohberger's arrest, Pennsylvania authorities said they will cooperate with Idaho investigators.
I think that would be really cool. Yep, that's what I want to do.
In violation of Idaho Code 18-1401 and 1403.
And it doesn't cost much to send a postcard. So send me some postcards. I'd love to see it. And do me a favor, put your chat name on it. You know, write a little note on there and tell me your chat name. I would love that. And just, you know the postcards that have your state name on it or whatever, or a state photo. I would love to do that. And just get those and keep them all together. And then maybe I can, someday when I get into an actual working studio, I'm going to put them on the wall with like a world map or something. That would be so cool to do that. Yeah, if you make your own postcards, that's great. Let's see. Candy, let's see, a couple people. They love the postcard idea. I would love that. Please send them. I think it'd be really cool. Because I'm paying a post office box right now. I'm getting no mail. So I would love to get some postcards. Go buy a postcards this week, people. Harlot saying maybe you could offer to mail COD to people in other countries who wouldn't mind paying large shipping fee. Yeah, we'll keep it small scale for now. I'd love to get these out to everybody, but the shipping is just so expensive. I mean, even on a little plastic item like this, it's crazy right now in the US. So we'll figure something out down the road. Even if I have to go to a third-party supplier and drop ship them, I'll figure something out. It's just something down the road to do. And of course, I have merch down there below. I have coffee cups and stuff. I just haven't had, I want to make a good design. I got to get with the designer to come up with a logo. I love the meme cat. I love that logo. Maybe we can, I can morph it and do something else with it, but we'll figure something out. But let's finish this up and then we're going to roll out of here for the day.
And no more than 10 years in prison and or a $50,000 fine or both. Do you understand?
Yes.
Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the
According to Slaughter, that means we could see Pennsylvania authorities testify at Kohberger's preliminary hearing next month or eventual trial.
I would expect that to happen because they are the arresting team executing a separate search warrant than what happened at the actual murder scene. So I would suspect that the defense would call those individuals and would question their records, their training records, what they did, how they did it, whether they followed proper procedure. And you're looking at, on the defense side, at the smallest change in normal processes.
Slaughter also expects Kohberger's defense team to do their due diligence in investigating first responders.
What the defense would want to look at is the police records, the training records of the individuals that might be called to the stand to determine whether they had proper training, how long their training was. They want to look at their records to see, if they had anything in the past.
I think the vet adds a little bit to that.
Eliminate them
very
from
long
being
arms.
called to testify, what that might look like.
It's funny, he does look like I mean, to me, I'm pretty broad-chested, bigger arms. I'm 6 foot tall. I think he's, is he over 6 feet? I can't remember. He might just be under 6 feet, but the muscularity in his body, he's pretty toned. So I'm sure he probably either an avid runner or he works out. He's got big traps, and I'm sure the vest is adding a little to that, but he doesn't look like anybody he looks like he's got some strength. For his size, he looks like he's got some strength. I mean, not saying he's like an overly barrel-chested guy, but when you see his arms, like when he sits down, I mean, he's got defined muscle. He's a young guy. He's a young guy. You can see, look at that muscularity. It's kind of a bad pause, but you can see that muscularity in his arms.
Well, they want to look at their records to see, if they've had anything in the past that might eliminate them from being called to testify, what that might look like, and how recent is their training? What are they doing? Did they have the right training to execute a search warrant? How long were they a part of the team? How many training hours? Are they up on their firearms training? All of those things, every nuance that could potentially matter in a case really does matter.
She says it's up to Kohberger's team to find exculpatory evidence or evidence that would prove the defendant is not guilty or suggest that someone else is responsible for the crime. But having only 6 weeks to review thousands of documents could be a tight turnaround.
We have a new member here in the
Are you
chat.
waiving your right to a speedy preliminary hearing and agreeing that hearing can be held outside?
Already waived his right to a speedy preliminary hearing, meaning we could see the defense request an extension to the coming hearing.
I would have thought that they would have been getting information prior to now. It's a very short window, and as someone who has served as an expert,
we're going to finish up here probably in about 5 minutes.
It takes an extensive amount of time to go through something. You have to find the experts that you need based on what you're looking at, and then you need to make sure those experts are qualified, and the experts have to review it. Then they have to actually compile a report that you have to review.
So Sandra says, I heard you wanted a lawyer in a live if the lawyer does not respond. We have great lawyers here in Boston. I think I know one that would love to come. Sure, Sandra, if you have any insight on that, just email me at the Opinionated Idiot at YouTube. At YouTube. The Opinionated Idiot at gmail.com. That would be cool. Listen, I know Peter's a YouTuber, just trying to get another YouTuber on here to kind of cross-pollinate. It's kind of, I want to say like part of the game, but just trying to get some to cross, collaborate, I guess, together. I know I've been asking them to come on. And Peter, if you're watching, my invitation is still open to you. We would love for you to be over here on the Opinionated Idiot YouTube channel. I got to try emailing him again. It's been a couple of weeks. I'm going to reach back out to him, and maybe he'll give me 20 to 30 minutes of his time. That's all I ask, Peter, just 20 or 30 minutes of time. But Sandra, absolutely. If you know anybody, please, we would love to have him him or her come on the channel if they can give us a little bit of perspective of what's going on in this case, maybe some things that we can see as this goes to trial. I know that's something that I've talked about doing, and what it will look like as this goes to trial. So yeah, sure. If you have any insight or know anybody, that would be great. Be really, really good. All right, let's keep playing through this.
It has to then go to the other side and to the judge to see if that person can even provide that information.
Yeah, he's a big
so
guy.
It's an extensive process, and I would expect that they might try to form some type of delay.
This comes as investigators reveal a list of items recovered from Kohberger's Washington apartment post-arrest. Among the items collected, an Amazon Fire Stick, a computer tower, and hair strands. Chemical tests performed on more than 60 hairs came back positive for blood after preliminary testing. But Slaughter says there's no reason to rush to judgment about those test results.
That there was some type of blood that was identified related to the evidence that they found. However, the presence of blood can happen with any of us. You know, we shave, we do our hair, we have accidents at home. So it doesn't mean that it is conducive for the victims, but it could just be conducive for him, you know, for that individual or someone else that he may have been in contact with, where, you know, blood is not, we have to always be careful to, I try to temper people's responses in the public down when they see something. Until we know, we don't know. It's just a guess. So until they say that it belongs to one individual at the crime scene, then, you know, it's just blood.
Meanwhile, as Kohberger is held in the Latah County Jail, reports say he's received a flurry of letters, some with hearts and stars drawn on the envelopes. Slaughter says it's not uncommon for defendants to receive this type of fan mail.
And the higher profile an inmate is, the more they tend to receive. Even Alex Murdaugh is receiving love letters. So
they all get love. I don't get love letters. I
gravitate towards these type of alleged or convicted murderers. They think it's sexy. Yeah. And
I don't get love letters.
It is very disturbing that there are women in particular tend to do this. I don't know how much men do this, but women tend to feel the need to be close to these individuals and to show them some type of affection. They send all kinds of things in the mail, and it is disturbing that people don't either believe in the justice system or they believe that they're somehow immune from the type of violence that the victims may have experienced, and that's painful.
Slaughter points out that while the case has gained national attention, it's important.
I've never seen that photo. That's interesting. Huh, I've never seen that photo.
To remember, real families are affected by the tragedy.
The public has an identity with this case, but I want them to remember that there are victims' families.
Yeah, but I don't want those
are intricately involved in every aspect of this, and to be mindful.
Just so everybody knows, because I'm joking about like love letter. I am not married.
These are people's lives that are forever changed. Their siblings, their families, their friends, and an entire community. So we should all want justice to prevail more for the victims than for our own gratification and understanding.
Right now, the preliminary hearing is expected to begin on June 26th and will last multiple days. Slaughter says it makes sense for a lengthy preliminary hearing based on the nature of this case. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
All right, folks, here we're at. Let me just pull it up again. I'm going to kind of take us back to where we were. I hate how these things always autoplay. Just to wrap up the stream here, Bryan Kohberger has been indicted in the Ohio student murders. Ohio student murders has been indicted, so the preliminary hearing is not going to happen. We're going to move. There was a grand jury indictment, and we're going to move forward. So hopefully today, I got some breaking news to everybody this morning. And again, listen, there's going to be a lot of channels that pop up and give their take on this over the next 48 hours a week. I will be back live on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have the Super Show on Saturday. Before you all run out of the room, let me drop the links there to the next live stream. So Thursday, I'm going to do a breakdown of, I'm going to do a breakdown of Peter Tragos's just recent video on Bryan Kohberger and the new documents that have been dropped. So that is the link for that stream there. That'll be Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will have Agent Chase Laura back on the panel. That is for that link. We're going to go through the shower curtain theory, and we have a lot of things to go through now that this indictment has happened. We're going to go through some of the legal documents and get some answers for you all as to what is going on. And then on Sunday, which is one of the most important cases that I am covering on this stream right now, I need all of you to come over on Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. It's going to be part 3 of covering the Jesse McFadden case and giving you some updates as to what is happening in that case. That is a very important stream, just as important as Idaho streams. You need to come over and watch those streams. Please, I urge all of you to come over, spend just a little time with us on Sunday and get up to date on that case. Let me leave you with this. We have a long way to go in this case. This case is going to take a while. There's going to be a lot of motions. There's going to be a lot more court documents that drop. Stick to the facts. You're all adults. You can all make determinations and decisions on what you all think in this case, but we're getting progress. We're getting progress in this case, and I'm happy. And I had a lot of emotion going into the stream this afternoon when I started. My heart was pounding when I went live. But I want to appreciate all of you coming over, checking out my channel. Thank you all so much for the donations, the memberships today, the interaction in the chat. We got some really good, clean information out there. We will see what happened here in the next days, weeks, and months in this trial, but we're moving forward. I'm glad this has gone to a grand jury. We don't have to fuck around anymore. It's going to get to a trial soon, and we'll be able to hear all the facts because that's what we're waiting for right now. If anybody needs to get in contact with me, you can via email at theopinionatedidiot@gmail.com. If you want to support me in any way, all my links will be provided in the comment section as this post. If you're on the Rewind crew, I appreciate all of you coming back and watching this. Let's get this particular stream out in the algorithm. Keep smashing that like button, commenting. Let's get this particular episode out there. Let's get this channel to grow. Let's get this channel to blow up. I'm so close to 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a quick sub count check before I get off. We're at 4826. Let's get to 5,000 by Saturday. Let's get this over. We'll do a celebration stream. Let's get this channel by the end of the year to 10,000 subscribers and beyond. I appreciate all of you for hanging in, all my mods on this hump day, Wednesday afternoon. Sort through this information, read some articles. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below when this video posts. Let me know all your thoughts. Are you excited to see this go to the grand jury? Do you think that Bryan Kohberger is not the person involved? Do you think there's a deeper thing going on? Let me all know below. I do appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. I got a lot of things to do. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm probably going to do maybe a afternoon stream tomorrow as well. And then I'm going to double up and do a night show as well. So I will post all my markers for those shows. Just make sure to smash the like button, hit your subscribe button, turn all your bell notifications on. You guys are all amazing. I appreciate you all. I will see you next time. I'm the Opinionated Idiot. See you guys. Have a great day.